Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, the movie lover here, and today I'm going to do something a little new, something that I haven't done yet. I have done so many video game reviews. It started off in like 2014 when I did one game review. My first video game review, which was pretty shitty, was my review of Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. But we'll get to that. But today I want to get into you guys how I got into gaming. Now, it started off in like 2006, 2007 maybe when I was still in kindergarten or maybe when I was starting first grade, but I think it might have been like 2006 or something. The first game I remember playing was Kingdom Hearts for the PlayStation 2. Now, I think this was either my brother's PlayStation 2 or my brother's friend's PlayStation 2. All that I know is I remember playing a little bit of it, and I remember it being pretty damn fun. And I sometimes I see my brother play it, and this is how I found out video games were made, or how video games came to be. Now, I got into doing more gaming in 2015 when I got my PlayStation 4, which we'll get into that shortly. Now, the main games I usually play, sometimes a little bit of Mario, and I usually played a bunch of crappy licensed games based off kids' animated movies. And I remember the one that I had the most fun with was Toy Story 3 for the Wii. I got it for Wii. And that was the one that I mostly played the most back then. I was pretty bad at the story mode. I mainly got into the open world toy box part of the game. But anyways, the first ever gaming system I ever got was the Nintendo DS. And I had a lot of fun with it, although I didn't play very many games. I didn't have Mario or Zelda or Pokemon. No, I used to have this little pet game where you can take care of this little kitten, and I remember it being a little frustrating, but pretty fun. I think it was called Pets Cats 2. I also played, like crossword puzzle games and, those cars racing games for the Nintendo DS. And, um, it was until Christmas of 2010 when I got my first home gaming console, which was before Christmas actually. It was an early Christmas present. I got an Xbox 360 because, there was a commercial for this new thing for the Xbox called the Kinect, which I thought looked really interesting. And I got in games for it like Kinect Adventures, Kinect Sports, Dance Central, and stuff like that. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it worked fairly well for me, but the one that I had the least amount of fun with was Kung Fu Panda 2 for the Xbox 360 and Sonic Free Riders. Like, I failed so many times at Sonic Free Riders. I thought it was something wrong with me, but it turns out I didn't even know what a bad video game was back then. Yeah, you can say, have you been living under a rock? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, Sonic Free Riders became. You see, I don't really play a lot of Sonic. In fact, I think that might have been the only Sonic game I played. Yes, I do have the original Sonic for Sega Genesis, and I haven't played it yet. But yeah, that's a long story. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I played a lot of crappy licensed games. My second home console that I got was the Wii. And the first video game I ever beaten, and I rented it from, GameFly, was Kirby's Epic Yarn. Mainly because, the game was very easy, pretty much. But that was the first game I remember ever completing. And other games I gotten for the Wii was, Up, or um, that game based off that shitty Yogi Bear movie. I was really bad at those games, mainly because also Cars 2. You see, I got a lot of licensed games based on movies, and most of them I've grown up knowing they aren't very good. So, back then, when I was in this daycare center, some students were playing a game called Jak and Daxter. I wanted to give it a shot, but they were all like, "No, you're too young to play the game. No, we can't let you play this game." I didn't even know what the rating system was back then. Yeah, I must have been living under a rock. My mom would never let me near an M-rated game. My first M-rated game I ever got was Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. Mainly, I had a huge blast with that game back then, maybe not now, but I remember playing that game a lot with my friends. In fact, my friend James, if you know from my very old videos, he gave that to me for my birthday. I also played a Simpsons game and stuff like that. I had fun playing those games. And how I truly got into gaming was I got older, and in 2015 I got my first ever. Or okay, here's the thing. I also had a Nintendo 3DS, which I still do have, and I played Mario. I got Super Mario 3D Land. I have played some Mario back then, just not that much. But here's the thing. I have never in my life beaten a Super Mario game. That's right. I hope someday I do get to. Now, yes, I did put Super Mario 3D, Super Mario World as my top 10 favorite games of all time. I gotten far enough in the game for me to say it's one of my favorite games. That game is just so much fun. Now, I got more into gaming in Christmas of 2015 when I got my PlayStation 4. At the time, before then, but anyways, so yeah. Games I got were, Back to the Future, Telltale's Back to the Future, Minecraft Story Mode. Oh yeah, Minecraft. I also had many memories of Minecraft. I would build anything on Minecraft. I was pretty much addicted to Minecraft, and I loved Minecraft. I still enjoy it today, but the more games I played, the more I think, yeah, there are certainly more better games out there. But I also got mine. I got Minecraft for everything: laptop, Xbox, PlayStation, and the one game that truly got me into gaming a lot more was The Last of Us. That's right, we're getting into this now. I I played that game and I did not know a single thing about it. I also got in Grand Theft Auto 5, Destiny, which I was a big fan of Destiny back then, but I realized the reviews and I can see what they're saying. I don't love Destiny. I think it's a fine game, but The Last of Us, I just I remember playing that game so much. I really wanted to try beating the game, and I beat it 4 times already. I just love that game so much. It's one of my all-time favorite games. That's what got me into more gaming. So I got more to gaming in 2016. I really want to try beating a lot of games because, I usually suck at video games. And so yeah, I got in more games and I watched more videos about video games that I haven't even heard of back then. Mainly because I guess it was because I was watching kids channels, kids cartoons like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, and I didn't know about because I usually watched kid-friendly stuff. I'd never gotten into T-rated or M-rated stuff, but until I got older. So so I finally got into watch R-rated movies and and played M-rated games. So my parents thought it wasn't such a big deal for me anymore as long as I don't do that stuff in real life. And Grand Theft Auto 5 my dad got me for Christmas, and let me just say here's the thing. My mom didn't even know I was getting that game. But every time I was playing the game, every time I died, I got so mad and pissed off that I would get in trouble because of it. But yeah, that is a way too much of a long story. But I still have a lot of fun with Grand Theft Auto 5. That's still one of my favorite games of all time, and it is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. I got more Grand Theft Auto games. In fact, just 2 more. I got San Andreas and GTA 3. In fact, I got a San Andreas poster over there. And I got more games for my Xbox because That's the system I played the most fun with. And I remember my friend got me this game called Gears of War. I wanted it, and he gave me it. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the franchise. I loved it so much, and I just had a lot of fun with it. And I loved almost all the games. I haven't played Gears of War Judgment. I do have Gears of War Judgment. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but I did put Gears of War 4 as one of my all-time favorite games, but I still think it's a great game. But just thinking about it, there was a lot more stuff I liked in the other games, so I think I would scratch that and put Gears of War 2. So I'm not going to rechange my list. I'm not going to remake my list, so don't worry about it. And I gotten more games for my PlayStation 4. I rented Uncharted 4 from Redbox. Remember beating the game, and I remember having a blast with it. I got all the Uncharted games remastered for PlayStation 4. I pretty much, at the time, my neighbors let me have um, my neighbors who are actually my mom's friend let me have their consoles that which was really nice of them. I got an NES, a Nintendo 64, a GameCube, and stuff that I got. I gotten a Super Nintendo for free, and I gotten an original PlayStation. I've always had my PlayStation 2. I've always had a PlayStation 2 Slim. Um, my mom had a school, and they gave us a PlayStation 2, and so pretty much it's my PlayStation 2. I also got an original Xbox for a really good price at a Goodwill, and it works perfectly. And how I got into horror games. I wanted to play a lot more horror games since I'm a big horror fan. I think the one horror game that I don't really love that much is The Evil Within. I don't hate that game. I think it's a really good game, but boy is it hard. I'm almost done with that game, but that ending I just have to get past because that's a long story for another time. But then I got Resident Evil. The first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 4. The first Zelda game I ever played was Ocarina of Time for the N64. And the first Zelda game I ever beaten was Wind Waker. That was the one game at the time, the one Zelda game that I had the most fun with. Granted, Ocarina of Time is still my favorite game in the series, but there's just something charming about Wind Waker. There's just something special about Wind Waker that I just can't stop thinking about. I've always loved Wind Waker. You know, I I was just so thrilled that I beat it for the GameCube. The game was so good. I even got it for the Wii U. And that's another console that I got um in 2013. I usually played Nintendo Land and Mario Kart 8 and stuff like that. And see, there are just so many games out there that I just felt that I should gain more interest into. And you see, that's when I got an Xbox One. I pretty much own every single game console except for PlayStation 3. Because my parents already think I have way too many consoles already, and I can understand that. I also have a Sega Genesis and an Atari 2600. Hell, I got a Nintendo Switch. So I've beaten over 50 games already, and I have a lot of fun with them. A lot. You know, some of my favorite franchises, I become a big fan of Resident Evil, Call of Duty. I like most of the Call of Duty games, but I don't love all of them. And Doom, I have a lot of fun playing Doom. I just gotten my collection has been growing a lot. I played so many games in 2016. Now, here's the thing. I am called Matthew Davis the Movie Lover. I'm not sure if I'm going to change my name yet because I like the ring to it, Matthew Davis the Movie Lover. But since I do like movies more than games, but I'm not sure if I'm going to change it. But I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. My gaming channel is called Matthew D the Gamer, and yeah. So Um, yeah, and pretty much I played so much Legend of Zelda games, I became a big fan. I wanted to play more of the games, I wanted to get more of the games, I wanted to beat as many games as I could. I've already beaten 4, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, and A Link to the Past. Another one I'm really trying to beat is A Link Between Worlds. There's also some really rare games out there that are just way too expensive for me to get. And I got Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64. That game's pretty fun, and I got that for a, a good enough price. And but you see, I'm not gonna be getting so many games because games are more expensive. New games are $60, so I'm not in a rush to play a lot of games. I am more of a movie person than a game person, but I just became. It was just like an adventure to me. I was going on an adventure, and I was inside a TV, from first person shooters to third person shooters to games like that. They're just addicting and so much fun with. I've missed out on a lot. I didn't even know what the SNES or NES was back then because, it's yeah, I know it sounds like I'm still young, but I just couldn't believe at the time I missed out on so many games. And granted, there are really bad games I played as well, like Aliens Colonial Marines. I beat that game, and I'm glad I never had to play it again. Superman 64. Oh, I did a rant and gameplay on that game. Yeah, I actually played it. Look back on my channel, you can see me doing a gaming video of it. And right to hell, Retribution. Yeah, you guys can see me play those games on my crappy gameplays playlist. I only have 2 videos, but you see, I'm not gonna waste any money on games that I know are gonna suck ass. But I don't have time for that shit. But yeah, I've become a decent gamer so far. I try getting better at them as much as I can. I've beaten so many, and there's so many titles that there are too many titles to name. I already have so many video game posters. Like, I still have that Doom poster, and I got the original Doom poster, and Gears of War 4, and Zelda, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So, I gotten big into games. The only big franchise I haven't played is Pokemon. I've never played Pokemon before. Yeah, I know you're going like, why have you played Pokemon? I don't. Here's the thing. There's just way too many games out there that I can't play them all, and it's gonna be hard for me to know which games were good or bad. But I know there's more good in the series, but I haven't played Pokemon. I know it's the franchise with the most games. It it's some of the best-selling games of all time. I just never played Pokemon before. If I do get a chance, if I do find a Pokemon game that I know is supposed to be really good, then I might get one. But, yeah. Oh yeah, I also have a Game Boy, which I got a Game Boy Color before, I got any of the big consoles, but I lost it, and I got a new one for $30, so it was worth it because it works pretty good. But yeah. And I've also became addicted to Tetris. Tetris is still one of my favorite games of all time. That is a true video game because games are supposed to be fun, because games just feel they just became something special to me. I should have played games a long time ago. I really wish I was born in like the 80s to find more to. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying right now, but the fact is, I became more of a gamer than I thought I would be. And I already gotten so many titles now, and I'm gonna continue playing games. Granted, I'm still a movie person, but that's how I got into gaming pretty much. I have played some games from my childhood, and now I have some games that when I grow up, they'll be part of my childhood. So I know I'm not a child anymore. I'm going to be 17 in September. Still can't believe it. It felt like I was 5 years old last year, huh? But yeah, anyways, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. So sorry for the bad quality, and sorry for my sentences I haven't been saying correctly. But anyways, that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.